Hello, Artverse and Twitter. This is Rachel. I am founder of the Artverse, and today we have two really amazing photography legends in this space, and I'm very excited to hear more of their story and what makes them create and why they're in Web3 and NFTs. So we're going to start off with Mustafa. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. It's so nice to have you. Thank you for making the long drive back so that you're ready here and, energetic for this interview. Why don't you start a little bit with who you are and what you do?
Oh, well, I'm Mustafa Aydın, and everybody actually knows me Aydın, but I'm not Aydın. I mean, it's my surname. I'm proud of my surname, by the way. But yeah, my name is Mustafa, and I'm from Turkey. I've been living in capital Ankara since 1991 because that's the year that I came to Ankara for university. It's one of the you know nice universities in Turkey. It's called Hacettepe University, and I studied physics engineering there. And yeah, so it's more or less who I am. But I should also say that I was born into a photographer family. So my dad was a photographer, and my mom was helping. So the first things that I remember was being in a dark room. Those red lights and stuff. So we have common with Armand in this because his dad was also a photographer. Yeah, I was born into photography, but I really like photography because I had to do stuff in my father's studio, and I also always loved aviation and space, astronomy all the time. Since I remember myself. Like maybe when I was 4 or 5, I don't remember when, but I have always been, space and aviation geek and uh, science geek. Yeah, that's who I am.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I definitely want to delve more into your history into photography, but let's go to Armin down here. Both of you know each other. Is that correct? You two are friends in real life?
Yeah, we met through the NFT space actually, but we became friends beyond the space actually. Very good friend. Yeah, it's an amazing encounter and amazing friendship. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. And that's just another testimony to how NFTs and Web3, it's not just online, it's in real life connections and friendships that maybe you never would have gotten if it weren't for, Twitter.
Yeah, most probably actually. I think most of the friendship that are happening in the space, they wouldn't have happened without it, because we meet because of that in first place. Then we just connect at a deeper level, and poof, there are friends everywhere. That's amazing. That's one of the beauty of the space for sure.
I love that. I love that. So Armand, why don't you share with the rest of the world who you are and what you do?
Okay, so I'm Armand Sarlang. I'm a nature photographer from France. I focus my work mostly on capturing raw nature, like untouched. That's what I want to share with the viewers. The story, the untold story of nature, and how it can resonate with my mind, and hopefully with others' mind. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm living in France, so it's northwest France, close to Brittany. Um, I'm doing photography for as far as I remember. Actually, we have that in common with Mustafa. It all came from my dad, who was a professional photographer too. And when I was kid, my kid bedroom, it was just next to the room he was using for his dark room. So I was sneaking in it, and I'm looking, and it's just, it's magical as a kid to see what's happening. The picture appearing on the paper, everything happening in there was just fantastic, and I think that's where it started for me. So yeah, that's me, and that's what I do.
I love that. I think I took in like when I was like 11 years old, a short little course where we had, the pinhold camera and the film. And like you said, it's so magical
Yeah.
seeing what you get after, processing it in the dark room. Um, there's that unknown aspect, with cameras nowadays, it pops up right on the screen right after you take it. Although, of course, maybe not so with deep astrophotography. Um, so, Mustafa, how did you transition from, let's say, film cameras and more of that traditional way of photography to what you do now?
Oh well, it's a long it's not that long, but like I said, I studied physics engineering, so I was always into astronomy, physics, space, everything related to science and space. So before starting astrophotography, I even had back in the analog times, I had my own darkroom at my place, and I have always been interested in photography. But I was also doing visual observations with telescopes and even with bare eye, and also binoculars. But at some point, it feels like it's not enough. And most of the time, people tell us, why do you shoot those nebulae or galaxies? You can just Google and you will see lots of them, which is true. But it's not the same thing, looking at someone else's photo and shooting it, because astrophotography is like a total experience, starting from the planning, shooting, pre and post processing, even getting ready to get the first light. That's what we call first light, uh, because you have to, you cannot just go and take a, as a kid, all the equipment that you have. You have telescope, the mount, and everything. So you have to start collecting. Before that, you have to start learning lots of stuff about equipment, how to combine everything, using which softwares you're going to use, and stuff like that. So it takes time, even to start, a few months, I mean, literally. So yeah, like I said, at some point, uh, seeing with your bare eye or through a telescope, it's not enough, because I always say you never see what you see on photos by your eyes on a telescope or on a binocular, because our human eye is not capable of seeing colors in dark. So it doesn't feel all right, and you want to start. And it's how I started. It's around 10 years ago. I started, um, shooting Milky Way photos. Then I had to buy my first mount, tracker mount, and that's how it started.
Wow, I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing. So, Armand, I wanted to share this image you just posted to Twitter. I'm going to share my screen. So, it's going to seem a little crazy, but 1 second. I want you to share the story behind this because he was telling me before we went live, and I think it's such a accurate description of what most landscape photographers feel and experience. Okay, so here we are. For everyone following and watching this video, here's Armand's Twitter. which is beautiful. By the way, you can see all his beautiful work here. But the image I want to point out is this one. Oh my gosh. Why don't you share a little bit about it? What is
Yeah.
this? What is this?
So this is a picture of the factory built in Utah. It's a completely surreal place. I mean, we've been seeing some picture the past 2 years, a lot of picture about that place. It became a bit popular, but when you arrive there for the first time, it's just like you arrive on another planet. It's just crazy. I remember the first time I arrived in the area, it was like craziness. I had seen picture before. I was coming to shoot specifically Badlands. So, but yeah, it's such an emotion when I arrived. Yeah. So this one was shot at the very end of my trip there. Actually, I was going back to Las Vegas to take my plane back after spending a few days in the whole area around factory build, because you have infinite composition to shoot in this area. I mean, especially if you have a drone, you can spend days and days and days flying and shooting. So yeah, this one was from the last day, just before I left. I had to stop and use my last batteries to bring something, because there was that nice storm at the horizon, and it was just great. So yeah, that's the story behind this one.
I love it. Using your last drone batteries, racing against the clock before you have to go to your flight.
That was exactly that.
Oh, I know that feeling way too well. Oh my goodness, stressful, but worth it. Worth it in this case. So I would like to ask, how did you get into more of this landscape travel photography versus other kinds of photography?
Yeah, sure. So I always loved shooting and telling the stories of nature. I mean, even before I was photographing this kind of, let's call it modern landscape photography, even before, I always loved telling those stories. It wasn't necessarily focused on the most beautiful aspect of it. It was more about documenting. But yeah, nature have always been the thing I wanted to share through my pictures. Back in the day, I wasn't doing it full time. I was full time photographer, but I was doing a lot of commercial shooting, stuff like that, and all the artistic part was more like a passion. Yes, passion for me. So I was doing a few exhibition and stuff like that, but it was not more at that moment. Um, I think it really changed 4 or 5 years ago. The moment I decided to really dive in what I loved, like going, traveling, shooting, and living the life 100%, was following when my dad felt sick. He got a cancer of the lung, and we were working together for years. We were associated as photographers, and when it happened, it was, it changed a lot of things, because we had our business working together, and then he was sick, and I had a lot of questions coming, and also about the life, the time passing, and the fact you want maybe to do what you love all the time. So yeah, that's what triggered that. Actually, it was that very moment when I thought that I wanted to do it all the time, and stop losing my time. And yeah, nature and landscape came from there, actually. Yeah.
That's so powerful. Wow. And that's so special that your dad was the one who brought you to photography, but also he was that inspiration that made you really commit to this more unstable, unpredictable, awful at times, and stressful, but absolutely fulfilling aspect of photography.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, that's something I always say, because it's true, actually. But yeah, the relationship with my dad have been shaping me as a photographer. I won't say the opposite because it's true, and I'm proud of it. So yeah.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so I guess we've kind of covered photography. How did both of you, one of you can go first. How did you guys get into Web3 NFTs? Like, what made you come here?
Mustafa, go ahead. I've been speaking a lot, I think.
Okay. Well, to be honest, of course, to make a living, I still have my own company, but I was so bored with what I was doing. Um, it's not because it's a bad job. It was so demanding and it was so tiring. I've been a consultant for over 20 years, and I was working about orphan drugs, which is drugs for rare diseases. And it was, I mean, there had been moments that I really loved because, it was not only about making a living, but it was also about helping people because there are lots of rare diseases without treatments, um, and these people are desperate, seriously. So being able to help them, of course, it was so nice, but it was so tiring because um, like 2, 3 times a week, I had to travel every week, and there were even times that I had to travel uh, to medical congresses, um, you know 2 weeks one after another. So it was so tiring, and and I was working with a kind of toxic person. So everything got together, and I was like, uh, 2021 May, my wife was also asking me to stop because I was so tired, and she was not happy. I was not happy, so I stopped. And at that time, I didn't know what I was going to do because I had no idea about NFTs or Web3. I had no idea. And then, a friend of mine, actually, 2 friends of mine, and I were designing this stellar experiences, which we teach astrophotography professionally, which is rare all over the world because it's a very rare genre, and people tend to learn them by themselves. But there was some demand also. But starting with the pandemic, it was also not very much like what we wanted. So we had some courses, but it wasn't like what we wanted. So then my friends started telling me, to investing on crypto currencies, and I was like, hey, come on, I'm an old guy. I don't want to do that and stuff like that. I don't understand what they are and stuff like that. And but then I just did a little bit of something, you know. But then we started talking about NFTs. Actually, it is almost a year now because in August I minted my first collection, but it was on Polygon, so it didn't work. Of course, but at that moment we didn't know it wasn't gonna work. Then I deleted everything and I minted my first real collection on OpenSea on September. So yeah, that's how I started. Yeah, like I said, the motivation was to make a living because I have a family, I have kids, and bills to pay, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility. I just have myself, and I find that hard with photography, but I'm going to share my screen again and show your social medias before we go to you, Armand, and how you got into NFTs. So 1 second, back to this whole thing. Okay, so here we go. We have Twitter here. Wonderful. Everyone who's watching, must be following both of these accounts on Twitter. Absolutely amazing work from both of them, and I'm very excited for what's to come, which we'll hear about soon. We have, of course, this FIREBORN collaboration between you two and Houston, who I interviewed yesterday. Uh, can I just ask, how did that come about? Because you're in Turkey, you're in France, Houston's in the USA. What
Yeah.
happened?
Oh, well, I was actually watching Houston's and Katie's interview, not watching, but listening on my way. So Houston, Armand, and I are actually in the Artists United collective. Actually, we founded together. So one day in that DM group, I was talking about this dragons, the fighting dragons of Ara Nebula, and I'm almost like I have this also, and just few minutes after, Armand was DMing me if we could do something together, but he was like, don't feel obliged. You can do it on your own. And I was like, oh my God, of course, let's do it. Yeah. Then, but the thing, Armand was gonna go to his workshops, and he was like, bro, I don't want you to wait for me. Do it if you want to. And I said, okay, I will wait. I'm not in a hurry, so we can do it together. And then Armand came back, and we started working, and we were discussing what to do, descriptions and stuff. And Katie is like, our mama, so she's always so helpful, um, giving us ideas and helping with our descriptions, stuff like that, because we are not. Uh, Armand and I both are not English native speakers, so she's always so helpful in that. And you don't even need to ask; she will offer herself. And one day I was discussing something with Katie on DMs, and I was like, "Hey guys, why don't you join?" And she was like, "Oh my God, yeah, why not?" And she started sending photos, and she said, I always thought this would go with dragons and stuff like that. So all of a sudden, Houston and Katie also joined, and also Katie's daughter Eliza also helped us a lot in the one-of-one book. So yeah, it was like this. It happened just like this.
Amazing. I think that's kind of what people talk about when they're like, whoa, Web3 moves super fast. Yeah, it does. Connects you guys from all around the world, and amazing things happen. And I believe it is sold out.
It is.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's really big. And of course, you three did, well, four, and counting Katie, did such a great job. I was very impressed with it, and I loved all pieces of it. I collected one myself.
Yeah.
Didn't
You
pass
go.
Thank you for that.
out.
Yeah, actually, you're also owner of another editions of me,
Hmm.
and no one was even doing editions at that time. February 2022. It was for Valentine's Day, and you were one of the first who grabbed it.
I loved it. I don't know if I can find it right away, but you want to just describe it really quick before we move to Armand?
Yeah, sure. It is actually two interacting galaxies, and when I'm post-processing photos, my wife comes in, have a look, and she's like, "Oh my God, just can you turn it counterclockwise?" And I turned it rotated it counterclockwise, and it looked like a heart. And at that moment, I was like, okay, I'm going to do an editions for Valentine's Day, and that's how it started. And then I made it 14 editions just for Valentine's Day and stuff. And it was sold out in 5 days. It was so brilliant, of course, with help of you and especially Artslaw. He's one of the best, like
Yeah.
yeah, he he announced it everywhere to make it sold out. Yeah,
Yes, special shout out to Art Lab. He is such a promoter. He is a connector in the space. Uh, Incredible work.
he's
And
a friend. He's a friend.
oh, good. So you know what he actually looks like.
Oh no, I don't, and I don't necessarily know. Like there are lots of people that we don't know how he or she looks like, but it doesn't matter. Uh, everybody says maybe we will never meet in person, but we know that maybe Armand can tell how we met. We know that there are some real people behind those PFPs. So that's what matters, actually.
Absolutely. I think for me, I'm a visual person, so I love seeing people
Yeah, me
on
too.
video, on, you know, in in real life, in the real world. I mean, this is the real world. So I like visually seeing people, but like you said, we don't have to if we don't feel comfortable with it. I love how Art Love has this mysterious aspect to himself where it's his actions that speak for himself. We know him by what he does in the space,
Yeah,
um, which is
yeah,
amazing.
and thanks for the shout out. And he's been having some hard days, and I really wish him and his mother, well, very soon.
That's so nice for you to do. Okay, Armand, you've been so patient. How did you get into Web3 and NFTs? Like, how did that start?
Oh, just first one thing, because you were talking about the heart edition for the Valentine Day, and I was thinking about that today, Mustafa, actually, because I went out to do some stuff in the morning, and when I came back, there was some really really nice cloud in the sky. It was kind of stormy, but with part of blue sky. The moment when you have those very shaped clouds, and I drove back to home, and I drove back again to shoot some of those clouds. And at some point, I shot one that was looking really, really like a heart. And I was thinking about you and your edition. I was like, yeah, you have the space heart, and I have the sky heart. It's not finished yet,
Other
so
years,
Yeah.
yeah, well, just the little stories. But yeah, Web3, how did it started? I've been hearing about it from some photographers on Instagram. Actually, that's how it started. That's how I heard for the first time. I got interested very naturally because as a full-time photographer, I thought it's something new that's happening, maybe new opportunities, maybe new incomes too. So I had to dig in that. Um, at that moment, it was like around June 21. So I was super busy. I had some trips planned all the summer, and I just postponed. So I really started to dig in the NFT space and to show on Twitter, etc. More around maybe September, October. But yeah, at first it was more like a professional move to dig in something that was part of what I do, and that could be something nice. Uh, Quickly it became something else, but I think we are all more or less in that situation. We arrived for potential professional developments and incomes and everything, but we met the community. the incredible community of people, and we started to make some friends. So yeah, that's how it started for me. It didn't start super well in terms of sales, etc. I spent a few months, trying to learn. I admit one stuff just, and yeah, but it finally worked, and now I'm pretty happy about all the friends I met, the few sales I have, and yeah, I'm enjoying. I'm pretty much a believer that there is a pretty nice future for a lot of us in the space if we keep being motivated, determined, and positive, because mindset is everything. So yeah.
Yes, I think what you hit on is excellent to share. Thank you for that wisdom because, sometimes some of us get too focused on the sales,
Yeah.
and then some of us forget to have fun. Like
Yeah.
we get so tunnel vision. So thank you for that reminder. I guess
Yeah.
that leads me to my second question to both of you.
Can I add a little
Sure.
something very quickly? Because what you just brought is something that was, at least for me, at the core of the Dragon project, actually. Because it was a coincidence. I was working on my edition with the story of Dragon. He was working on his edition with the story of Dragon, and we knew, we shared at some point, and we started to work on it. But what I think is really fun with the Dragon project, it's different, it's fun, it talks to the imagination. I think we really need some fun. You said it actually, but it really reminded me about the kind of energy I had in mind when I started to think about the dragons. Bringing fun and just playing with imaginary stuff. And yes, we need fun. So
Yes, I agree. That's wonderful to hear, and I hope you continue that fun energy forward. Both of you have such incredible work that you've already released, and I know it's going to be so much better going forward. You know, um, but what was my question? Oh, the hardest thing that you have encountered in Web3, and how maybe you've overcome it, or how you're still working on it.
you want to go, Mustafa?
You go, then I will go.
I go. It's a tough
Hard
question.
question. I will copy from you.
I don't know if it's the harder. That's the question, right? The harder, the more difficult. Yeah, I don't know if it's the harder, but I would say to lie to what we were saying before. During that first period, when I was learning and starting to meet people and to build connection, and it's like finding the right way to communicate, and to organize also, the time we spend with how result we have, and also not losing the rest that we have to do, because I love NFT and I believe in the future of it and I want to be part of it. But there is also plenty of other stuff I have to do in my life, like everyone. So yeah, finding the balance in this, and at the same time feeling, that you are doing the right thing, because often everything goes so fast that you feel you have to be there 24/7. There is no compromise possible, and I really believe there is. And probably not easy. I'm still searching, but doing progress. So yeah, for me, it's been the most difficult challenge, I think, in the Web3 space, finding balance.
For sure. I am right there with you where I'm like, I don't have balance, but we have this goal. This goal where we don't have to be on all the time. And yet we're still able to make sales, we're still able to connect with people, we're still able to meet new people, and innovate and create and, be inspired. There is a balance, but we're all still finding it.
Yeah, I feel you about that. But yeah, I think it's something where at some point all NFT artists have to find their own way to to find their own balance. We all will have different answer to that, depending on what we do, what we not do, and what we absolutely want to do, and what we are ready to sacrifice for the space. But yeah, it's amazing. I'm sure everyone will figure out, including me, hopefully.
Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Okay, Mustafa, you're up next. What's the
Uh,
hardest thing in Web3 for you?
yeah, like I said, I was going to copy from Armand. I agree. And joke aside, yeah, it is really hard to find the balance. Well, like I said, as I finished all my other business, starting with NFTs, and I'm full-time astrophotographer and full-time astrophotography teacher and full-time NFT artist. So I don't have to split my time between other things. But of course, I have a family, I have wife, I have a little kid. He is now 3, and all these things are so demanding. Um, like Aaron said, it is still hard to find the balance because, for instance, yesterday um, evening, I was with friend, and we were actually her guest with my wife, and we were having dinner in a nice place, but I was listening to a space in one ear because I was invited to that space. So but at some point, I left the space, but you know what I mean, like we have to be we have to be in so many places, so many times, even in one of the DM groups that we are all together. They believe that I am an alien, and I have the power of cloning people. So Rick was saying that I could clone people. So yeah, we all need clones, because, like you said, we have to go shoot, and especially astrophotography shooting is not easy. You do also uh, nightscape astrophotography, and planning, going there, shooting, coming back, processing, and stuff like that. And it's even harder with deep space astrophotography. And uh, beside that, you have to prepare your descriptions. You have to innovate, like you said. You have to find something new all the time, and you have to make friends, like you said. I mean, I don't want to repeat all those things, but that's a lot of work. Everybody will think that you just put your pictures in the marketplace and you just lay like this, and they will sell. No, they won't. I've seen so many people, they didn't make any sales because they have never been involved in Twitter or in spaces or in what we are doing now. So it is a lot of work, but it is fun. It is sometimes hard, and yeah, more or less the same thing. The balance, and trying to figure out what you have to do next.
For sure. Uh, we have Paul here saying, I need 3 clones. And we have Harini saying, I need a clone for sure. So anyone who's listening, here's a golden
15,
opportunity.
15.
Learn how we can clone ourselves and then sell it as an NFT, because I'm pretty sure you will break the internet with that
Yeah,
project.
well, I'm an alien, and I have the technology to clone, so it just costs 50 each.
Sounds like a deal.
Joking. Okay.
Well, we are getting close to that time, but I want to hit on what's next for both of you for your photography work, as well as in, like, what can we expect from you going in the future in NFTs. So let's go with Armand, since it's your turn to speak.
Okay. Honestly, for now, I'm still thinking and building what will be next. I have a series I want to mint for a while actually, since I joined the Wall collective. Um, Probably on Maker's Place. That was the idea. So yeah, I'm building the idea and other stuff in my mind. So that would be the most precise idea about NFTs for now. But yeah, there is so many projects I'd like to build. Either individually or with friends or collectives. Um, I think there is infinite possibility. So yeah. But for now, this is the idea. I will need also to focus a lot on workshops. But it's not NFTs, but it's taking some time to me. But yeah, I'm building some project for workshops IRL in some cool destination with some cool people. So yeah, it will be a mix of everything, and hopefully it will go well.
I hear workshop where I can meet you and shoot with you in a super cool place.
Yeah, that's what you hear.
I'd have your DMs. I'm going to slide into them.
Yeah.
I do see a comment, though. I see a comment that says we need an episode 2, Return of the Dragon.
That's something we need to talk about. But it wouldn't be right now, I think. I can't talk for everyone, but I think we would be so happy, all three of us, four of us, to work again together. But I know each one of us have some short-term project that will take a bit of time. So I think we need to focus on our individual goals first, and then we will come back stronger as a Dragon team. Is that right, Mustafa?
Well, I'm excited. I vote for it. I'm ready for it.
Great.
So, Mustafa, what's next for you, either shooting wise or NFT wise?
Both actually, I could tell. This summer, I finally had chance to travel a little, and I was teaching astrophotography in some projects to university students just a week ago, and I'm going to be in another one in September. Yeah, but like Armand said, I also want to and really focus on these workshops soon. And actually, Armand didn't tell, but maybe we can disclose. We're also planning to do some stuff together for the next year.
Yeah.
Some workshops in Turkey, Rachel. So you have reason to come to Turkey.
Yeah, finally.
I'm coming. I'm coming. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, we're building the idea for now, but yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if I did something bad, Armand, but this is the first time you are disclosing it publicly.
No, let's go, let's share.
Yeah, that's it. But we're planning to do something really different. Like with Armand's qualifications and my qualifications all together, and beside photography, there will be other things for the people who will attend to the workshop. So it's going to be a full experience, let's say. Yeah. So we didn't even start talking about it, just an idea, because like Armand said, we had short-term and mid-term stuff to do. Short-term thing was the Dragon project, so we did it. Of course, we will keep the Dragon team together, because I really, I'm just not exaggerating. I really love Armand and Houston and Katie. Uh, we've been an amazing team together, and he was doing something else, I was doing something else. Everybody was doing something, and there is one fun story. I changed the question. Sorry for that, but before we dropped, we were discussing with Art Lau, and he was like, uh, I was going to go to this expedition, and Armand was going to go to vacation, and he was like, "Who's going to sell the collection?" And I was like,
Art love. He's gonna sell it.
and I was like, we're expecting it to get it sold out before we leave, but of course it didn't happen because we left 2 days after the drop. But Armand and Katie was working so hard before I came, to get it sold out before I came. So yeah. Anyways, let's go back to your question. For shooting wise, as most of you know, I have access to these remote access telescopes in Chile, Australia, and Spain. So I will continue shooting with those. And of course, from time to time, when I have time and energy and clear weather, I go shoot with my own equipment also. In astrophotography, you can never finish the targets that you want to shoot. Even if you shoot once, you will go want to shoot again when you buy a new equipment, new camera, or if you learn something new technique or something. But yeah, so I want to go on shooting, of course. And for NFT wise, I have something coming up next week. I was waiting for FIREBORN to sold out, so I will be on new platform. Yes. Yeah. So sorry.
That's exciting. I am looking forward to what happens.
Yeah, I will start with 3 images. It's not a like total collection, but there will be 3 images connected to each other. So that's what is next on NFT. And maybe I hope in short term, I want to build my own observatory. Yeah, but that needs some ETH power or money power. So that's why I said I hope in short term. But in midterm or short term, whenever it happens, I really want to do that. And it's not going to be just my own observatory. It's going to be like an astrophotography school. So that's my dream. And I hope that's one of the things which is next.
I have no doubt. That's an amazing dream. I love it. We could talk all day. I wish I could talk to you guys and just hear more and more of like what really gets you excited about, different aspects of your art. But we are closing up to about an hour. So I guess my last question for you both before we leave. We see a comment. We have legends everywhere. You guys are legends. I absolutely agree. Everyone who's watching agrees. You guys are incredible. My final question is, if you could create a PFP project, what kind of PFP project would it be? I know it's hard.
I never thought of it, but as soon as you asked, I had an idea. I would create a PFP project with extraterrestrial micro life, like one cell life. Just imagine PFPs of bacteria that could be found somewhere in the universe.
Wow, I love that. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
You asked it, and someone will watch it and steal the idea.
Well, it's on YouTube. You have, proof that you said it first.
Yeah,
You better go buy that ENS domain now, right now.
yeah,
Oh gosh, we have comments. We have Hendro, which is a fellow photographer. He would do donuts as his
We are not surprised about that.
yeah.
that man and his donuts. Oh my god. Paul says ducks and donuts. I can
Yeah,
see that happening. I'm surprised it hasn't.
yeah.
Okay, so Armand, hit us with your best PFP project idea. It can be
Mm.
really stupid too. Like I was thinking like feet squishing things because that's apparently very popular.
Yeah, if I had to play with such kind of project, actually, I'm not sure I would go for, for characters. I might try to play rather with using pictures that would be each transformed in different combination, maybe on seasons, colors, and stuff like that. Taking a whole big set of picture and having fun transforming it, maybe using IA. I don't know. Just thinking about it as you asked now. But no, if I had to create a PFP project for real, I would go for dragons for sure.
Ooh. Oh. Oh.
Or maybe gecko like that. I like gecko. I just got one tattooed on the leg.
Oh,
Yeah.
geckos are so adorable and how they're just so friendly and they kind of like bop every now and then. I love them. Wow. Well, I think we do have a question for more questions or statement for more questions from the audience. So let me think of a good question. Unless Dima wants to comment a question for you guys. I'm going to ask if you could tell yourself when you began one thing that you know now, what would you tell yourself? If you go back in time to when you first started NFTs, what would you tell yourself?
Mm.
I know it's a hard one. You guys can handle it.
Don't give up, you're gonna make it. Something like that.
I love that.
I would say price higher.
Oh. Oh, okay. Wait. Let's get more into this. Why would you say price higher?
I don't know. It's always an advice from my wife. When you make it cheaper, it will look cheap.
Mm.
Yeah, I tend to listen to my wife. Happy wife, happy life.
I support you on that. Same. My girlfriend is such the best advisor I have.
Does she say the same thing, Armand?
Huh?
Does she say the same thing? Price higher?
No, not about the price, but I definitely ask her her opinion about curation and about many other stuff when I'm kind of lost, and she often came up with the right answer. Actually, yeah, she's amazing.
Interestingly, yeah.
It sounds like your wife and your girlfriend are pretty legendary themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, she is. I mean, yeah, like Armand said, of course, astrophotography is something different, but she always comes and have a looks, or I send her by DM or WhatsApp, and she always comes with some points which makes lots of sense.
So wait, so would you say that your partners are really part of your support system within the NFT space?
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, definitely. Maybe not in the way that it's not like she's taking active part, but in terms of support and also advice, I think it's a priceless presence for me in my NFT journey and in my life for sure. But that's obvious.
Yeah, absolutely the same for me. Not like, very super involved, but support-wise, endless, since the day we met and, since the day we got married. But yeah, and always it's good to have opinion from someone who knows you very well, because there are lots of things that you cannot see. You look at it, but you don't see it. And that person who knows you sees it for sure. So it's good to have four eyes instead of two.
Yes.
Wow, I now feel super lonely over here, me single ass.
Oh,
But
you have us as friends.
yes, I do. I do. I feel my hole in my heart with all of you guys. Um, but I love that. I love how, your families and your partners might not be in NFTs, but they're absolutely a part of your journey in NFTs, I think. Um, Without, family support or your partner support, I feel like this would be really hard.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I see Chris down there in the comments. I met Chris in Iceland a couple months ago, and he's like, yes, single, not really mingling, but you know. Great. Well, I
No,
guess
please. Sorry, was just seeing the message.
um okay, I guess we are hitting that hour mark. So if you guys have any last words to say to those who are watching, I would love to open it up to whatever you want to say, and then we'll close it out.
Okay, so just thank you everyone for joining and taking the time to listen to us speaking and chatting and saying some jokes too. It's amazing to see you actually. I didn't notice you were all there. It's just when you mentioned, I clicked on the comments and I saw everyone. I was like, oh, my little heart is shaking now. So thank you guys. Love you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Rachel, for having us. And it was, very short notice. And I'm glad that Armand also accepted joining me. And it has been way better than me alone. So yeah, it's really a pleasure. Um, you know, I'm an emotional guy, and Armand knows that. I'm not going to cry, of course, but yeah, I'm an emotional guy, so I value friendship a lot. I do. It's really good to be together with good people, really, because they like yeah, just like you said, they make you fulfill. They fill the gaps that you have, and they teach you. They learn from you. So and you improve with them, and you help them improve and make each other better people. Thank you very much.
I can't follow up with that. Oh my gosh. Perfect last reminder. It is about community. It is about the connections you make. It's not just about money and sales or how many followers you get or how much engagement your post gets. That's a great reminder. It's been a true honor to listen to both of you today, and I'm so thankful that you made time to both come on and give me an hour of your time and give the rest of the Web3 your time and share a little bit about yourself. I totally recommend to all of you to follow both of these legends. Again, legends in this space, because they were creating long before NFTs, and they will continue to create long after, NFTs, most likely. Most likely not, because we all think that it's going to last forever. But, even if this all goes to hell in a handbasket, these guys are creating because, in my opinion, it's what they do. It's what speaks to them. And I am so thankful that they shared that with us today. So thank you guys. And thanks to everyone who's watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Mustafa. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.